begin promotion in the civil service and employment of 10,000 youths into the service. Governor Wike said this when the new chairman of Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) in Rivers State, Alex Gwanwo, and the chairman of the Joint Negotiating Council, Emeka Chukwu, and their executives paid him a courtesy visit at the government house in Port Harcourt. And today, the governor accused the former NLC chairperson in the state, Beatrice Tubo, of promoting an unhealthy relationship between Labour and the state government. Let's take a listen to what the governor had to say regarding, or some of what the governor had to say regarding this situation.
Look at now, the college fees. They can't maintain the secretary. It's not by mouth. They can't maintain it. But now that she has left, and to welcome you, we are going to start the promotion. I didn't want her to take credit. You should take the credit. There's nothing government cannot do for you if we have a good relationship. That's how you go about it. You don't go about plotting against the downfall of the government, which will also affect the welfare of your members, so that the Civil Service Commission can commence the promotion exercise and also commence the employment of the 5,000.
Governor Wike also said the state government has cleared the backlog of 2016 and 2017 pensions and gratuities. He said the state government spends over 3 billion naira every month for the payment of pensions and gratuities.
We have been paying pension and gratuities every month, not less than 3.something billion set aside to pay gratuities and pension and benefits. In fact, the former Governor General told me yesterday, they've cleared that of 2016-17. But you see, I'm going to say that I've never paid for 15 months. And that is unfair, quite unfair. How will a government, it has never happened in this state, to go and build such a secretariat for the NLC and GUC. At the same time, the same people he did that for will turn around to begin to blackmail the government. It's just unfortunate because opposition is trying to use it left out there. But what is the result now?
Let's talk about this, especially, please be guided or be minded. The conversation focused strictly on the pronouncements regarding promotion of civil servants in the state and, of course, the employment of 10,000 youths into the service, or 10,000 persons into the service. Let's talk about that. Considering the antecedents of the state government, or River State government, should workers in River State be excited by this pronouncement of promotions, and also those who might be prospective employees into the state civil service, should they be excited by this pronouncement as well? And speaking of antecedents, it's been widely reported that since the inception of this administration in 2015, I think 2015, there has been no promotion of workers in the state. That's been reported. I hope that information is correct, by the way. Also, speaking of employment, I mean, at different times, this administration has announced plans to employ, on most, if not all of those occasions, this employment drive did not happen. In the first term, between 2015 and 2019, the government, as I did mention earlier on, conducted a needs assessment as far as education, especially basic level, was concerned. It was determined then that 10,000 teachers were required and 4,000 non-teaching staff were required to fill existing vacancies in the education sector in Rivers State. And up to date, I'm not aware that those positions have been filled. It's not unlikely that the numbers have increased between then and now, but those vacancies still exist, I suppose. Also, it was reported not too long ago as well, some time ago, that the state government planned to employ, I think 5,000. I think 5,000 workers into the state civil service, for which thousands of people, gathered at the state secretariat, causing humongous, terrible traffic for a couple of days. I think 2 days or thereabouts before the government decided to accept applications, online via some website. And till date, I'm not sure that, at least I'm not sure, I don't think there's been an announcement. Those 5,000 persons have been employed by the state government. So these are some of the antecedents of the River State government concerning promotion of workers and employment as well. Considering these antecedents, of the state government. Should workers in Rivers State be excited by the prospect of promotions? Should prospective workers be excited by the pronouncement of an employment drive as well? Lines are open. Call 070-093-093. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Let's get your take on this matter. Hello, hard fact to welcome. Please go on.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah. Dayo, my name is Jude Ogwani.
Go ahead, please. Hello, hard fact to welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good evening, Dayo.
Hi, go ahead.
Yes. Quick one. We've been among those that have been shouting this thing since the inception of this wicked administration. And a lot of time, the likes of Samuel Osiki have been in your studio misleading the public, telling the public what he wants them to hear, and not the things that are reality.
Misleading the public how?
Yes. We've been saying it since the wicked government came. He has never employed anybody. You agree with me? The cassava plantation that have been there for over many years that he claimed to have commissioned is still locked down because he doesn't want to employ.
That may not, your statement that this government has never employed anybody may not be entirely true. In tertiary,
Hello?
Your statement that this government has never employed anybody may not be entirely true. Judges, just a moment. Judges have been employed in state-owned tertiary institutions across the state. Just a moment, please. I will let you go on. In state-owned tertiary institutions in the state, both academic and non-academic staff have been employed at different times. Just to put that there when you say this administration has not employed anybody.
Okay, Dayo, now let me state further. These are things that are before the public domain. You agree with me, the acclaimed employment at the River State University was clearly condemned by the public because the public shouted and said that nobody was aware of this.
No. I think you're delving into other matters. You could have that conversation as to whether or not the employment was properly done or not. But even you agree now with your comments that there was indeed an employment.
I am not agreeing with you, sir. I am just telling you that whatever it is that has happened, the wicked government has failed. And
so are you saying that there was no employment at the River State University?
I am not aware of that. Me and you know how the
me and you may not know what you think me and you know.
On which paper was it published? Who applied? The ones that people applied, we saw their CVs all over the internet, all over the internet. That it was just collected to deceive Rivers people. Thereafter, it was done. This man, they call the governor, only succeeded in doing what him and his family have been benefiting from. And it is clear. You also agree with me. Look at Rivers State Secretariat, no life. The former governor of Rivers State, after the speech, His Royal Highness was there. And he had to use torchlight to climb the staircase. Even your station reported it. So what are we saying about this wicked administration? It's not a total failure, which Rivers people must at this time. Rivers are waiting for his tooth.
So okay,
and he will be disgraced.
Okay, I just want to have a conversation on the prospect of the pronouncement of the governor about employment or not. I think that caller is obviously pissed off about some other things. And when, by the way, he has a right to be pissed off about, or by whatever it is he decides to allow to piss him off. But once again, the conversation is a very clear, straightforward conversation. The pronouncement by the governor about promoting Rivers workers and the prospect of employing, I think, 10,000 persons. Should there be an excitement about that? That's what the conversation is about. All right, let's keep it the way I have to go. 070 093 093. Hello, hard to welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, Dayo.
Hello, go
I
ahead.
am Opelea calling from Alo. The 2015, the governor did not promote any worker. He did not employ anybody. And how many months left for his administration to go? 2 months. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Just a month and some days, he wants to promote and at the same time employ 10,000 youths into the civil service. It is laughable.
Why?
It is laughable.
Why is it laughable?
He is the anti-so. But we are wiser now. Wiser.
So is it a bad thing for us to be promoted?
Pardon?
Is it a bad thing? Is there a bad time to promote?
But we believe he is going to promote the without if that is the issue of it. Just like the way he did 2015, Governor Meshi promoted some workers, but when he came, we can implement. He wants we that.
Hello, go on.
My name is William.
Go ahead.
I will come with you. I noticed that when they will come up with employment and insurance thing. So, perhaps when another government takes over, it will happen. Hey, I'm not aware about the employment. I'm aware about the employment. What happened during this time? I just said that with my observation.
Go on.
Yeah, this is our also info. Andoni.
Go ahead.
I do anything about me.
Why?
Because 214, such thing happened in University then when Amechi employs some teachers and lecturers. When the also start the worker because they employ civil servants 1 month to the time we leave office. So I don't say anything. I don't say anything that will bring happiness. This is
For promotion will not take place.
because the promotion takes place. The investor can come and do similar different. Employ some people and also promote some people. We come and get those people and also sack some of them that the employment is not going. It's a good process. So the same thing takes place again. Thank you.
No. Hello. Hello. Go.
If you take a look at what the trend in the States, it's not too good at all. Like me, I have so many friends who are civil servants, so many uncles who happen to be civil servants. I'm seeing promotion case. I think that look at how it affects them and their families. I think there's no good news about it at all. There's no good news about it.
Yeah,
no promotion, no implementation for as long as the time passed in this day. So what are we suggesting of?
What do you mean by implementation? Because if you were on level 15, step 1, all right. I mean, if you were on level 15, step 1, you're probably going to be on level 15, step, I don't know. I'm not sure I know exactly how it's calculated or tabulated, but you might be on level 15, step 3 or step 4, or level 16 for that matter. So maybe someone could give some clarity on the issue of implementation. Hello? Hi, go ahead.
I don't go and also the promotion. For the past 7 and 9 months, other people from the other states as their counterparts has almost gone 2 steps ahead of them. And the governor now said that he's going to promote them, going to give them that promotion area as instanta. And the employment is about to do. The employment has a procedure. Would it just do a kangaroo employment at the end of the day? If the next government comes in, they say there is nothing like employment. Let us look at it side by side. River State Road Management Authority were just driven out. They were set by law. Look at the RSSBA. They were just displaced. They were right now they are in the court system. The governor to implement court judgment. That is, look at the River State Transport.
Apologies, but I would have to end this conversation at this time. I do have a commercial break coming up shortly, after which the headlines are up. Discussions continue after that. Please stay with us. Hard Files continues in a bit.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this. with Diode.
Okay, my discussions continue on Hard Facts today. Thanks for staying tuned. We got 28 to go before 6 p.m. The major news comes up at 6. However, let's get your take on this. Rivers State Governor Wike says his administration will soon begin promotion in the civil service and the employment of 10,000 into the service. The governor said this when the new chairman of Nigeria Youth Parliament of Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) in Rivers State, Alex Agwanwo, and the chairman of the Joint Negotiating Council, Emecheta Chukwu, and their executives paid him a courtesy visit at Government House in Port Harcourt. Now, the governor accused a former NLC chairperson in the state, Beatrice Itubo, of promoting an unhealthy relationship between Labour and the state government.
Look at now, the collectors, they can't maintain the secretary. It's not by mouth. They can maintain it. But now that she has left, and to welcome you, we are going to start the promotion for you. I didn't want her to take credit. You should take the credit. There's nothing government cannot do for you if we have a good relationship. That's how you go about it. You don't go about plotting against the downfall of the government, which will also affect the welfare of your members. So that the Civil Service Commission can commence the promotion exercise and also commence the employment of the 5,000.
So, considering the antecedents of the state government, some of which I did reel out at the start of this conversation, should workers in Rivers State be excited by the prospect of promotions as announced by the governor? Should unemployed folks or prospective workers in the state civil service be excited by the pronouncement of the state government as well? I'm talking about the employment of a possible 10,000 persons into the state civil service. Let's get your take on this. Lines up and call 070 093 093. Join me via Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hard Facts, hi there, you're welcome. Please go on.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Dayo.
Go ahead, please.
There is nothing absolutely to be happy about since 2015 down to 2023. Ask what other state civil service have. The number of promotions that would have gone, that would have done in other states. You agree with me? It would have been up to 2 or 3. I think this whole thing is just to deceive Rivers people and the civil servants as it were, because he thinks that if he does it, Rivers people haven't been shouting since 2015, so he thinks this is the 11th hour just for him to deceive Rivers people that he wants to employ. Dayo, since 2015 till date, you agree with me? Lots of Rivers.
Why do you need for me to agree with you? Why does everybody say you will agree with me? Why do I need to agree with you?
Since 2015, okay. Since 2015, lots of civil servants have retired. Some have died. In an office of maybe let's say 5 or 6 persons, maybe at today you have 2 or 3. Then what happens to those who have died as a result of poor payment scheme? The River State government, you agree with me, is one state that never agreed to the payment of 30,000 minimum wage, even when we are among the richest in Nigeria. Even when states like Edo State and Akwa Ibom State are paying. But the River State government says we don't have money, but we have money to build 12 flyovers.
Hold on just a moment. I don't... By the way, I should ask you this. Have you called in on this conversation before now?
No, sir.
Okay, you sound like a previous caller. All right, now, number one. I'm not aware that the state government doesn't have 30,000 naira as its minimum wage in Rivers State. If your argument, just a moment, please. If your argument is that the state government has not implemented the consequential adjustment as agreed with Labour in the state, now that I might readily agree with you on. I think that's in the public domain, but that it is.
Agenda.
Hello, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Hi there, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Tamla Prima Purple.
Go ahead, please.
I'm calling from Rumibo. And a lot of people have called, and they're not trying to outline probably what would have been the issues like the governor just outlined, that there was this unhealthy relationship that the commission had with the government. Okay, let me use the Senator Oshomole. Let me use him as a case study when he was when he was in charge of the Labour Congress. You remember how he would, after he makes a lot of movements for the workers, even when the president would not want to give in, there's a way you play around such people who are, at the end of their affairs. People you need to do something for.
How do you play around them?
It would be nice.
Hello, question. I'm asking you a question. How do you play around them? How do you play around them?
But that's the way you go about it. Like, okay, who knows if such a person had a political ambition all this while, and maybe it was somehow open. Do you get? A lot of things would have played out.
Okay, let me ask you this. For example, there was a new minimum wage that was announced. The Rivers, while negotiations were going on between Labour at the national level and the federal government, I remember very clearly the Rivers State government, or governor precisely, did state publicly that Rivers State, once an agreement is reached between the federal government and Labour, Rivers State will be one of the first states to commence implementation. Now, that happened. Committees were set up, negotiating committees were set up between the state government and Labour. Agreements were reached on what, there was no discussion on minimum wage. Minimum wage is 30,000 naira. But discussions needed to be had on the consequential adjustments. In other words, by what percentage are we going to increase the salaries of workers on other levels who are not receiving minimum wage of 30,000 naira? Agreements were reached between Labour and the River State government. Reports have it till now that those agreements have not been implemented. So are you suggesting that the River State government should not implement an agreement with Labour which affects workers because it does not have a good relationship with one Labour leader?
But as it stands, you would want to do something. How would it have been when, as I talk to you now, it is obvious that he said, about that time, I'm in the system. I knew we used to see stocks on our platforms. We used to see stocks, the agreement, that they were making the plans just about the time. Who knew when this unhealthy relationship started? And we're Nigerians, for God's sake. We know how we do our things here. She should have been, always played the role as someone who's in public.
So what you are saying, in essence, is that an agreement reached between government and Labour that affected workers, you're saying it's fine.
Who would have gone there if they had no good relationship to meet in person? How would it have been done? That's what I'm saying. Well, for me, what I think, let me just tell you, the people in the system, as I talk to you, the real people in the system now, they're happy that the most important thing is he has said, okay, these things will be done. For me, I think it would be nice if we recognize the fact that he has said it, and there's no time to
so that's why
disparaging relations about this time, and then they hear talking, and when you hear them talking, and when you hear them reject why he has said it, they link it to a party.
You need to now. If you're not going to listen to me right now, I'm going to have to end this conversation. If you're going to listen to my questions and respond to them, then the conversation is pointless. By the way, I was going to ask him, he referenced some situation between Obasanjo, former President Obasanjo, and former NLC leader Adams Oshomole. And I was going to ask him, assuming what he said was true, because he did not give an actual scenario or an actual instance of where the Obasanjo government denied Nigerian workers something because of a bad relationship with then President Adams Oshomole. I wish I'd given him a instance, but it doesn't matter. Assuming what he said is true and there is an actual instance, I was going to ask him, so whatever Obasanjo may have done then as president, denying Nigerian workers something that was due them because of a beef with Adams Oshomole, was that a good thing at that time? But I suspect that he may have preempted that question coming, so maybe he didn't want to hear it. Anyways, the line is still open. Let's get your take. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome. Please go ahead.
Hello, Daniel. Good evening.
Hi, go on, please.
Yeah, my name is Ogundo, and I'm calling you from Proboko. Something I think what people are doing is, there is a saying that somebody, don't allow it to happen to you. That is what we are saying. In civil service, until you get close to the civil servants, you will know what they are suffering. Anybody can call on air to say anything. Yeah, the governor is trying. All this while, for how many good years? If you begin to calculate, somebody who has been over 8 years, next year, the person is supposed to go into 3 promotions. Each 3 years, 1 promotion. Each 3 years, 1 promotion. And for 8 years, to make it 9 years, somebody is supposed to go 3 good years. Then all this while, none. And somebody will come on air. Go to the civil servant, to the secretariat and see 60-something years old, 50-something years old, 40-something.
What is the retirement age in Rivers State? Do you know?
It depends. For now, we don't have any starting. What they say is 60 years. Some persons say 65.
No, there must be a retirement age. It can't be both. It can't be 2 ages.
What they are saying now, as I'm talking to you guys, ask anybody. What they say normally before is 65 years. But they are beginning to bring it up to 60 years and 65 years, depending on where you are. So what I'm saying in essence is this. Let's leave about who has tried and who has not tried. What we expect is to implement some persons before now that have been promoted. Just recently, Opasiki increased worker salary. Has it done any increment? This is what we are saying. We are at the level of continue saying or coming to public.
So if the government is not broken for,
he's not good with the outgoing labor woman. Are we not good with him as civil servants? Have we come to do anything wrong to him because of one woman? Service about how many thousands of persons? May God help us. Thank you very much and God bless.
You as well. Saying Stephen via Facebook goes down. Good evening. Rivers people can never be excited about this because promotion and employment has procedure, while 2 months will not be enough for the process. Cotterell Charles goes, this fire brigade approach entails that Wike deliberately left the civil servants to remain in one spot. It was deliberate to inflicting unemployment after 8 years. This employment is fake. They won't be paid before he leaves office. Wike shouldn't happen to Rivers again. Blessed Okon goes, Rivers youths who are unemployed to use this golden opportunity from Governor Wike to the advantage instead of listening to opposition who are always discrediting government policies. It's better late than never. Please, I need voice. Line 213, welcome.
Hello, good evening, Mr. Dayo.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I am Ujen. I'm calling.
Turn off your radio set, please.
Yeah, I'm talking
Turn off your radio set, please.
I'm
Hello, yeah, good afternoon.
Hi, go on.
Maybe what I just to present is part of your discussion on the employment of 10,000 workers. Mine is very short. If the 2,000 person you have employed as SA, they cannot pay their 20,000 naira, what will happen to the 10,000 people or applicants he wants to employ now? Is the question I want to ask.
They were not paid?
Now, 2,000 persons have not received their 20,000.
Are there 2,000? I thought there were 100,000 or something like that.
Okay, maybe 100,000 or so. Up to now, some have just received 20,000 for a month and rest. And the politics is coming to an end. Next week, election, and after that, we don't know what happened. So how will they manage to pay those that you want to plan out? 10,000. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I need to confirm those figures, though, those who were employed. I think at one time there were 50,000. I don't know if it was increased to what. I think it was increased to what. Can someone help me with that, please? I think at one time it was increased to 100,000 or something of that nature. Anyways, still got a few minutes to go. 913, welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Dayo.
All right, go ahead. Yes.
Emmanuel is my name.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. It's better late than never. It's better. I will be happy if he will implement it to the fullest.
I know that following his antecedents, people are scared. People are not, they are not feeling, they are not satisfied that the governor will implement it. So I feel
why should they have that confidence? Because you were antecedents when you started speaking. So why going by the antecedents, confidence? No, I get that. A person can be better late than never. I'm raising your statement that people should have confidence. The question to that is why folks have confidence?
Why? He has been used and some areas. I believe that. I know that when Amechi wanted to leave, Amechi at 2015, he did to leave, and I know governor did not able to do this. So I know that if you want to promote people to work out and also going to deployment, so we should energize him down and criticizing him, and that's what I feel.
Well, you have him as well. There are 200,000 essays. Oh yeah, okay, thank you. I thought there were in the hundreds of thousands, as a matter of fact. All right, maybe a few more comments before wrapping this up. Let's see. Okay, this is a very, very long one. Good evening. Following this conversation, I expect to hear the root cause of this said disagreement or unhealthy relationship, but I can't figure it. Can you ask your callers who are concerned? That's Michael. But I'm at a loss as well as to what this root cause of this unhealthy relationship might be and what exactly is the cause. Because I think by default, Labour usually has an unhealthy relationship with government. I think by default, it usually is that way. Commercial break, top of the hour, we got the major news coming up. Open season is up after that. Do please stay with us.